update on this. I think this will be number 3. I can't make videos for every single thing I do, so I'll just kind of condense them all into stuff. The transmission is in now. Let me get a light. I got a hole cut for the shifter. The tranny's down there. I still need to take that mount that I have right there and then weld some tabs on it for the factory 350Z mount. There's a bunch of trash over there. I just swept out my whole garage, but except for underneath the car. So I still need to do that. But did some all new brakes, painted the calipers, new rotors and pads. I got a really good deal on Rock Auto. I paid like less than $100 for brand new pads and rotors front and back. So I couldn't pass that up. I ended up picking up those. Since I've got me a ignition switch now. This is like a little insert that goes in the factory center console. And I have like all my wires coming off the back of it. I'm only going to be using one toggle switch for now for my 2-speed Deechworks 810 liter per hour fuel pump. You can wire it up 2 different ways, either just full power all the time or half power, and then you could wire the second ground on it, is what it is, to either like a hop switch or the input outputs of the Terminator. I don't feel like getting that fancy. I'm just going to wire it to a toggle switch, and when I want full power from the fuel pump, I'll just flip that girl right there. And then I got an extra one down here where I'm eventually going to add like an oil cooler with a cooling fan on it. I just haven't done it yet. I figure I can do that after everything's done and running. I did paint this thing right here. Matches the valve covers. Kind of mixed my own paint together. It's like a Ford light blue mixed with is it a blue anodized paint called Metal Cast. So it kind of makes this own shade of blue. I painted the brakes with that. Stuff on the block, the valve covers, that turbo elbow, a bunch of other little pieces here and there. I'm not trying to get too racerish, but the Terminator's all pretty much in and done. I made this little, plastic piece out of like an old piece of the engine cover that used to sit over there. But this goes down in there. Everything kind of loops around the front and plugs in. It just looks like a mess right now because I don't have everything plugged in. I still have like 1 or 2 wires to hook in right there. All the wiring for my radiator fan is done. I cut off a nice, thick, heavy-duty plug off the BMW harness that did, it was like for some kind of pump, air pump or something, air injection pump. I don't know what the hell it was for, but I used that. It was nice thick gauge wire. Here's the stuff for my Deechworks pump back here. You can see all this stuff coming through right there in the Deechworks controller. Big ass box for my Trinity intake. I haven't decided whether I'm going to roll with this battery over here or if this one's fine, but I might just try to get the factory size battery. I heard these cars do not like when you don't at least have an 850 cold cranking amp battery. So gonna be buttoning this all this shit up soon. I had to completely remake the downpipe again for the 3rd time since I designed or fabbed everything up before for a 7875 T4 turbo. Now I have a 8883 T6 turbo, which I kind of polished up a little bit. Here's the downpipe. It starts right there at a 5-inch concentric reducer into 3.5, and then a bunch of pie cuts and pieces of manual bent pipe, and then a nice V-band down there. I had to redo this all again because I previously made the downpipe partially without having the starter, and then I didn't figure out how far the starter was going to go over and how close it's going to be to the car. So I had to completely redo this from like here, I think, roughly here, all the way down. So, and I'm out of pipe now. This pipe right here goes to about almost where the back wheels are. So I need like another stick of straight, maybe a 45 or 2, and then That will be able to come out the back bumper where there's an exit hole cut. What other updates do I got on this? Did the brakes, got the tranny in the shifter. Looks freaking sweet. Ironically, the knob I chose is like light blue and has white lettering, which is like the BMW logo kind of colors. I got my Terminator screen mounted right here. The CAN cable ran down there underneath all that. And then I have a bunch of wiring that I have up here that needs to go in. This is where my ignition switch little thing would fit right there. It pops in right there and you can pop it in and out. I had to retain this because this like piece right here controls all of that screen, and that controls most of the car. So had to definitely keep that. I can pretty much put the back seat back in. I'm done with the fuel pump. I don't need to run any more wires back there. There's just some stuff I want to like tape up back there a little bit. Still have a bunch of interior panels to put back in, but oh yeah, that feels good. Got plenty enough room. I'll probably like cut it off like right here and put like a piece that goes underneath this and then kind of goes straight to the other side. And then I'll find me some kind of universal shifter boot. I still need to figure out what I'm doing about this. There needs to be a clutch pedal here. I figure that thing's fine. I need to get a universal gas pedal still. So I'm basically just made like a little list of some shit I need. I don't need that no more. That I still need that. I need the alternator wire, exciter wire for my Holley Terminator X kit. They don't include the wire. I don't know why. As much as they charge for the kits, they charge another $25 for the wire. I don't know why they wouldn't just include it with the damn kit, but it is what it is, I guess. So I'm gonna have to get one of those. I still need a 3.5 V-band. I need a piece of 3.5 straight, 3.5 90. I'll probably end up cutting it up in pieces. I still have a 45 and one piece of a pie cut left, I think, left over, but I pretty much ran out of pipe. I can't go any further with these two pieces right here. I'm all the way, I got the exhaust, comes all the way back here to right about where the gas tank is right there, and then it stops. Actually, it goes to right about where that cross member is. And then I'm out of pipe. So I need to get more. Car's really clean underneath, only about 80,000 miles. I plan on, after everything's done running and driving, doing some lowering springs, possibly get the car re-clear coated and paint touched up. I do like the silver, but I'm not really much of a fan of silver, but it's kind of growing on me. As long as the paint's nice and clean. I think the only dent I have is right here, and I could probably get that out pretty easy, just pulling off the taillight. But there's a couple of these in a junkyard close to me, and they're the same color, and they got like mint body on them, but the motors are blown up. So I'm probably gonna end up getting some body parts from the junkyard. I already need that mirror. That mirror is broken over there. It's literally held on with like a little piece of metal. I didn't even notice this until I got the car home. I don't know if that's a bread tie or a paper clip, but it's like the only thing holding it on. I wonder if the power function still works. I haven't tried it. But try to get some more stuff done. I'm trying to think of what else is on the list. I got some pieces for the drive shaft already. I got the 1350 slip yoke that goes in the back of the CD009. I still need the two 1340 or 1350 joints. And then I need the center tube, the two 1350 joints that go in the tube. And then I need I think it's SLG or something, adapter for my diff. And then I need a 1350 4-bolt adapter that bolts to that. So I'm looking at probably like $400 or $600 still for the drive shaft. And then I'll probably, to be honest with you, cut cut it to length myself, or just measure what length I need and then take it to the drive shaft place, have them cut it, weld it, balance it, and I'll probably save a little bit of money by not buying stuff from them. So, and plus they don't offer half the adapters and the pieces I'm looking for. So, but just trying to keep this project moving. Did a little bit of paint touch up right there. I had to cut that over. I didn't want the engine to go side to side and the turbo hit that. I just can't wait to hear old girl here's full. My God. Triple ball bearing. It's not even broken in yet. There's probably not even really oil in it. I put a couple drops of oil in it like a month ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago. Probably need to put some in it. But just a little update on this old girl. Trying to keep it moving. My garage is actually really clean right now for some odd reason. I'm usually super busy and never have time to clean. But still need to hook up some wires. That's what I was actually just doing, which is why I recorded a video. Windows are super dirty. I'm gonna try to button everything up in here as far as the center console and shifter go, and pretty much get that about all the way done up until I need like a shifter boot or something, because I don't have one right now. I really wanted to use a Crown Royal bag, but I don't know what happened to the bag I had. I was just going to kind of throw that in there. I did get a 2-inch shifter extension. That little piece screws on there and then screws into the ball. Thinking about a Willwood clutch pedal, and I did find a nice throttle pedal and gas pedal and throttle cable combo on eBay. Probably going to cost me 60-70 bucks for those two things. Just waiting on some more money, to be honest with you. I got a clutch job I'm doing on an SRT4 tomorrow, so I'll probably get some money from that, buy some more parts, throttle pedal, and maybe metal for the transmission mount. I think actually I want to get the some metal for the transmission mount, and then probably throttle pedal and a cable. But I'll decide a couple things I want to get and keep moving this thing forward. But when I redesign the downpipe, the reason the turbo's off is you have to remove the turbo, put on that shorter valve cover, and also take out the exhaust manifold that's sitting right there to get the downpipe out. So that's the only way I could have made it. There was no other way. I could have had a V-band in between, like the downpipe comes out right here. There was no way for me between here and down where the starter was to even fit another V-band. The pipe's 3.5 inches. I'm like literally almost kissing everything down there. So I'm gonna have the exhaust wrap stuff wrapped around it, and just gonna pray that there's still enough room. I do need to kind of tweak the motor mounts. I'm a little off to this side, more off to the passenger side a little tiny bit. So I need to kind of I think loosen the mounts and just twist it a little bit. There's a little bit of slot on the mount where it goes onto the mount, and I need to kind of straighten the motor and trans. I also need to get an angle finder and do the angle finding for the drive shaft, drivetrain slope or whatever they have to have. What is it, like 3 degrees? The turbo's so damn big. Since I got the engine more level than it was before, I had to trim a piece of this, and I'm probably gonna have to trim the inside part of the hood right here so the turbo doesn't rub it in the wrong kind of way. So don't want none of that. And then I'm going to be putting like the factory like air boxes in. The Terminator is going to be completely hidden over there underneath that cover, and then there's like air box intake things that go for the cabin, like that hole right there, and then the hole right here are like big air intakes and have big air filters. So there's an air filter for either side. I'm going to put all that shit back, and there's like a divider over there. There's the top of the core support, but behind it, the ashier black piece over there, kind of dirty. That goes in between like right here and right there, and it kind of like sections off that from the hot engine bay air, and you get this vent. This is where like the car gets the cold air out. I'm debating on not putting that shit back so I can, you know, that can just suck some of the hot engine bay air out. I haven't decided on that yet. I don't want the car smelling like fucking gas inside, so that'll be a trial and error kind of thing. I still need to cut the heater core hoses to length and attach them together. Radiator hose, just need some clamps on it. I still got to tighten the harmonic balancer bolt. I need to put clamps on all the power steering lines. The power steering cooler is down there. I think that's like a 17 row or 13 or something. I got adapters on it. That's going to be my power steering cooler. Mighty Mouse catch can. I was possibly contemplating trying to take a 5 Series BMW set of manual pedals and trying to put them on this and see if they fit. They kind of look like they would, but I've kind of, in the process of searching for those, seen that there's a very common problem, even with the stock clutches in the 5 Series, that the plastic pedal armature that you push the pedal down is plastic and they break. So there's actually even companies that have made sandcast molds and made them out of cast aluminum, but I even hear those can break because they're not great at quality, because there's not an actual really good company that's making them yet. I figured I could almost duplicate that if I wanted to into some type of piece of steel, but I don't want to do that. I'd really rather just go with some type of Willwood setup. I should have plenty of room down in here. There's some kind of brake pump thing I can pull over to the side, but there's plenty of room for like a master cylinder or whatever to come out right there. I'm going to try to utilize that space right there. This shit's going to be all covered up, so no one's even going to see that, so I don't even care how that looks, to be honest with you. But just trying to keep this thing moving forward. The alternator's looking kind of crusty. It was new when I got it, this thing, but now it's starting to look like a eyesore. Everything's nice and shiny and new, and that thing's looking old. Might buy one of those just for shits and gigs, I guess, to make every fucking thing look new. Other than that, I need to go with a little bit wider tires back here, and I was wanting to really do coilovers, but I'm thinking I'm probably going to go with the H&R lowering springs. They say they only lower 1 inch in the front and 1.3 inches in the back. I've seen the cars that have them on, they look like they're 2.5 inches lower, if not 3. So I'm probably going to go with those, and I'd rather want to stay with the BMW top hats. They're going to be a lot more of a comfortable and smoother, less noisier ride than the pillow ball mounts that come on some of the coilovers. So probably just stick with that. But I'll be taking a few things off once I get the transmission mount made. Then everything under the hood can be finally reassembled. I still need some exhaust wrap and some other stuff. I do have oil up there, right there. Some Lucas engine oil, break-in oil. Still need to put that on. And I'm probably going to prime the engine with that fucking weed sprayer pump thing over there. I've seen a couple people on YouTube doing that. Probably going to fucking retrofit that into that and prime the engine from the oil galley on the side right here on the driver's side. That's also where I'm feeding my turbo. So I'll just unscrew my fitting off there, put a little fitting on there, and then I'll prime the engine. Not that I'm really worried about it. I put the entire engine together with Lucas Oil engine assembly lube, and I just was really liberal with it. So the oil pump's even full of it. I literally squeezed the oil pump full of this shit and spun it around. that's a way you can also get away from having to shim the oil pump. You put the oil pump on loosely, pull the front cover off, fill it full of stabilizer, or not stabilizer, the engine oil assembly lube. It's thick enough, it gives you almost the exact clearance you need, just like a feeler gauge does. And then you just kind of leave it centered and then tighten the 4 bolts down, and it acts like a shim if you don't have that small of shims, which I didn't, which is why I did that. So, and I've done that to about 10 LS motors I've built so far, so I don't see any problem with it. I've never had an oil pump failure come back on me, so seen other people do it also. But some people swear you don't have to do nothing, and some people swear you have to do a feeler gauge or it's going to be ruined. There's a lot of myths out there. But be updating a little more soon when I get the tranny mount made. Possibly next video I will be starting this. So just trying to get some more money compiled, and I will be starting this thing soon. Can't wait to hear what it's going to sound like. Until next time.